So their debut album came out in 2009, September 15th, 2009. I guess Kyle was talking about this before he got the.
That hurts.
I,
That hurts.
He's like, yeah, I feel old. The old shame is coming out right now. He's like, oh no, but no, but
he feels old. Yeah.
I feel old too. I just turned 24 in October. It's crazy. Anyways, their debut album was Stand Up and Scream from 2009. Who would like to go first? Any pickers? Any takers? Anyone? Or
I'll take it.
All right, cool.
Like I said, this record, I actually got it the day it came out. Fell in love with it. The amount of knockoff bands that this record created cannot be understated. After this album came out and blew up, every metalcore band out there just said, this is what we're going to do. This is the sound we're doing. We're doing the exact same thing. Just a bunch of chugging guitars, screaming, and then a random electronic breakdown in the middle of the tracks. And it stayed that way for years. Alexandria was really, for the while there, you wouldn't know it so much these days, but for a while there, they were one of the biggest bands around. Like everywhere you went, they were covered in every magazine. They were all over. That's changed in recent years. A lot of that probably attributed to a change in sound that we'll get into. But this record cannot be understated. I mean, the final episode, Not the American Average, which they do not play live anymore for good reason. I'll say I love the song, but lyrically it's pretty atrocious. I mean, everything, A Prophecy on here, and the music videos too. You can't get away from the Prophecy music video that spawned even more music videos of drummers smacking drums with water on them. Excellent album. One of really a turning point in the metalcore genre as a whole. After this, metalcore bands kind of went one of two ways. Like Mike said, this did lead to quite a bit of an oversaturation in the market here. Bands either went towards this direction of the sound, or they went more with the traditional metalcore style, like your Killswitch Engage type things, which I know Mike is he leaned more into that aspect of the genre. But so I mean, that's my initial thoughts on this record. Incredible album. Really this actually got me into the heavier side of metal. I can attribute this album to that. Actually, this and Bring Me the Horizon Suicide Season. So I have that to thank for getting me into that. Before this, heaviest I went was like Bullet for My Valentine.
All right, Mike, why don't you go?
So this album it's interesting. It's almost like the more extreme side of Asking Alexandria for me is kind of a mess, in that it's the kind of metalcore structure, the type of breakdowns they use, the type of vocal over vocal technique where it's like deep vocal over harsh vocal, the electronic breakdown thing, all these things that come into play in this album are a mess to me, and it's too much. Like, it's almost like the breakdowns take me out of the rhythm of the song because they are on purpose kind of off note. They're almost done to a way, and so many other bands copied off this style after this album. These albums came out after this band kind of blew up. They all kind of did it, and those bands I didn't like. I did not like this style of metalcore, and it was just a mess for me. And it's funny, people are like, "Oh, you're into the extreme metal, so you're gonna like this album." Not particularly. It's got the elements that I like without the execution that I like. It employs a lot of tactics that I find off-putting and cause me to skip songs. So starting off as their opening album, I would like to give it points for just being an innovator of its own style of what it brought. but unfortunately it's the style I don't really care for. So it's almost like I applaud it for being itself, but I was on the other side going, like it does what it does well, but just not what I hope for it to do well. So yeah, other than that, that was just, it's just my general assessment of the album.
Fair enough. So forgive me if my throat gets clogged up, whatever. Oh my god. It's my turn to talk about this.
It's
It's my turn to
turn.
talk about this album. Oh my god. So
The one.
You thought Mike was the villain. Oh, the furry from the very I can't stop laughing from the very, very, very first opening chords of the song. I'm gonna butcher it. Illyrion, right? Is that how you say that? I was like,
keep going.
all right. I was like, what the living hell am I listening to? Because full disclosure, I love me some Slipknot. I love me my core form, Metallica, Anthrax, and all that stuff. This was a different level, and I was like, I felt like a virgin, like in the middle of like something going on. I was like, what is happening here? I was like, oh my god! I remember being in the car listening to this, and I was like, what the hell? It was so so. And
Did you bring your mom and dad along too?
Honest to God, no. I was, believe it or not, I was on my way to my grandparents, believe it or not, to make things worse. But no, but this was a new level of heavy for me, ladies and gentlemen. I was like, I almost, my jaw was like just jaw dropping. Jesus Christ, a human being can make these types of noises with their mouth and their guitars. I was like, literally, I'm sorry to all the hardcore metalheads out there who are like who listen to this on a daily basis.
Boo!
No. Hear me out. I was like, when I first listened to this, I was like, oh my god, what have I done? but I have to tell you the truth though. As a debut album, to Mike's credit and to Kyle's credit, I haven't listened to it. I can't say that in that aspect, but I could see where it spun off and made other different types of subgenres of metal or metalcore to that aspect. But for my personal taste and my personal knowledge of music as a whole, I was like, oh my god, I feel like my ears are going to blow up. It's like I was just
not a fan of the 0-1 breakdowns there, huh?
No, it was so like it wasn't just that I wasn't just a fan. I was just like almost like starstruck in the wrong way. It was really weird to put like that. I was just like, oh my god, this is metalcore. Like, wow, this is very
more like death.
than,
I would say it's like deathcore-ish. I mean, you could say it's metalcore, but it definitely combined deathcore elements with metalcore and a lot of other things. And I think it did. I think that's why it was received so well. Is that deathcore was kind of coming into its form and it needed something interesting.
Deathcore was kind of hit its peak at that point where people were starting to get a little sick of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, you guys are in that and I didn't really know anything about that in particular. So
yeah,
that's where I was like, oh my god,
post-hardcore is what they're calling it, but
yeah, something like that. Yeah,
I still think it leads more into metalcore just based on this is kind of a turning point in the metalcore genre that it turned this record and this band turned metalcore into this sound for a good 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's kind of gone into like a more new metal sound, the metalcore genre. They went like a new metal, like gen sound that I'm not the most into. I'm more of a fan of this. Yeah, but heavier.
Oh, like heavier than
like you check out like I Prevail's last couple records. That's
okay.
They've fallen into a lot of it sounds pretty generic. Not that this, doesn't compared to the fact that every other band started to sound like this for a good 5+ years.
A lot of bands. I haven't delved into them personally, but I'm sure that there's plenty of other sub bands that like listen to this and like, all right, maybe I can like tweak this and do it like the musically. They're like, all right, let me try something different like that. But that, yeah, I could see that. It's just, but for me, I was like, just kind of
And
closing
let's
my.
not forget the neon cartoon monster shirts that were all over the place for this genre. Just random cartoon monsters and random neon fonts and colors that had nothing to do with the songs or the bands. But wow, what a time
The
to
shirts
be
I
a metal fan.
hated when I went to show.
Yep.
Those are the shirts I hated the most. I was like, thanks.
I had a couple of them.
Alexandria. You just made it. Oh,
Yeah.
boo.
Boo! He's bringing the child in wrong direction. Anyways, no, but I mean, but to close out my thoughts, I was like, and when it was over, like when the album, when I finished the album, I was like, what the hell did I just listen to? Like, I was still.
I needed a nap.
I no, I didn't just need a nap. I needed some melatonin with my nap. I was like, oh my god,
I need some melatonin.
I need some melatonin with my nap. And are we going through the track listing just out of curiosity, or
no? We can just probably just do ranking, right?
Yeah, let's go right to rankings.
Just do stuff like that. Okay, cool.
I mentioned the songs I thought were the most important ones. So
yeah, all right. I wasn't sure how you guys wanted to do that tonight or not, but like, yeah, my face is getting red.
I want your ranking on this first. Let's
yeah,
see.
me too.
Oh no.
Me too.
Oh. So given the
hashtag me too.
Hashtag me too. Hashtag me too.
Yeah, that's it.
Anyways, no, but well, man. So oh my god, I lost my train of thought already, and we're already on the first album. Oh god. All right. Anyways, I digress. So if I'm putting this out of the 7 albums they've released, and out of the entire ranking of all of the albums, don't kill me, everyone, but I put this at the very bottom at number 7 because, yes, it did a lot. This prepared me for what was to come, but this was like an in shock, like literally, like I was like deer in the headlights, like, oh God, what's next kind of thing. But at least I was ready for what was to come. This was like an eye-opening experience. This is my number 7. Don't kill me. Oh,
so I'll take it next. Just a
Please
little peek behind the curtain here, just for fun. I wrote down what I think both of their predictions are going to be for this. Just see how well I know them. So far, I'm 1 for 1. I was correct, dead on with where JT would put that.
oh my God.
For me, I love this record. It's not the best thing that they've ever done. I'm putting this at number 3.
Okay.
Number 3, easily. They've done things better. They've done things significantly worse. And we'll get to that.
Mike.
Hey. Yeah, so for me, this was out of the 7 albums they did, number 4. This was pretty much
Mike,
like heavy
4?
and everything I wanted. 4, yeah. 4.
Oh my God, I'm 2 for 2.
Damn, man, pal, you're freaking good. I was off on you. I thought you were gonna go 2 for this, pal, but you went 3, which is it just, it's in a way it's a lot like, hey, here's what's to come, but like we can get our structure better, we can get our songwriting better. We're in a lot of ways we're just showing off all of the cliches that the genre has to offer, and like what we're bringing to the table and what we're gonna make our sound and what's gonna kind of be influential. But it's failing to be able to put it all together and make it more coherent. It's like somebody showing off all their tricks at once and being like, yeah, what did you think? And you're like, and I actually was thinking about this. I'll actually do a whole wrap up on all the albums and how like this one feels like a young kid. This one feels like an adult kid. This one feels like a guy who's hitting his midlife crisis, and this one feels like somebody who's trying to yeah, right. Literally, you can see
at this point
the or the progression, So yeah, so 4 for me.
Kyle is so far. He is sorry. I'm just taking notes of stuff as we go into. But Kyle is currently. Wow, he's actually 2 for 2 now. That's crazy.
Yeah, 2 for 2.
Damn.
He's guessing our
Spot
rankings
on.
early.
Damn.
Damn. All right. Anyways,